Chef Ajay, thank you so much for coming to BW Wellbeing World's Festival of Wellbeing. It means a lot for you to come and have this conversation with us.
Thank you so much. I've always enjoyed your company, your things that you organize, and I think Business World organizing this Festival of Wellbeing is amazing because it's a third edition, fourth edition.
This is a fourth edition, third in Bombay.
Okay, third in Bombay.
Yes.
I think it's a great thought because I think well-being is not just about physical fitness. Today, well-being has become a thing that we must understand that our work, our family, our life, our eating habits, everything revolves around well-being. And well-being is mind well-being, my tummy well-being, my body well-being, but more than everything else, as a person, how am I actually approaching the others, is also a part of my well-being, because a lot of people today have just lost simple things like patience.
Absolutely.
It's a big part of being well. Are you well? I mean, are you not patient? I mean, you're sitting in a place and I want it first. That's not a characteristic of well-being.
Absolutely. I mean, in fact, one of the conversations that was happening today in one of the panels was how you have to take care of not just yourself but everything and everyone around you.
Right.
So that we create a atmosphere of well-being.
Right.
Right. So it's about self-love as well as selflessness.
Very true.
Right.
And I think a good example to share is that I spent a few years in London, and I came to a point where I could now think that okay, let's have a car and let me get a driving license. And you had to do like at least 21 sessions before you could get your driving license. And every single session, the trainer would tell us, take care of your surroundings first and then take care of yourself. Because if you're taking care of your surroundings, everybody else, if everyone is driving thinking that I need to take care of that person and that person, I'm already taken care of.
Correct.
But somehow in our country, it's the opposite. Let me take care of my first, my family, my job, my well-being, my this. Dooja ki kar raha, mainu ki kar raha.
Exactly.
I don't care. So that needs to change. That needs to become self-love to the effect that yes, you need to be well, but selfless love, unless that happens, we're never going to reach where we want to reach.
Absolutely. And Chef Ajay, generally when we think of food in the restaurant
Ji.
versus home cooked food,
Ji.
there's a cliche that घर का खाना अच्छा है, बाहर का खाना अच्छा नहीं है.
Cliched नहीं है.
Reality है?
मेरे लिए तो है, because for me, I mean, if you give me a choice, I would jump to home food because I've had so much of restaurant food. That's my thought process. I mean,
so my question is that when we are focusing on taste buds, which is what the focus in a restaurant is, versus healthy food, nutritional aspects of the food that we are consuming, why can't these two go hand in hand?
Yeah.
Or can they?
They can and they should. See, that's where home food kind of gets more marks on this, because a mom would never cook carelessly. She will always have this thing in her mind that whatever I'm cooking is for my family, for their well-being, and that's primal. But suddenly, if the mom is unhappy and the husband has gone ahead and called 20 of the friends without even asking, कि मैं अपने 20 लोग लेके आ रहा हूँ, imagine what the cooking will be like.
Correct.
उस टाइम पे वेलबींग नहीं सोच रही माँ या बीवी, उस टाइम में खत्म करो यार जल्दी से, मेरे को मतलब छुटकारा मिले.
Right.
That so what is it that is changing this thought process is the heart by which you are cooking.
दिल से बना रहे हो कि नहीं बना रहे?
Right. Now in restaurants, I am not saying that we don't cook with our hearts, but I cannot promise you that every restaurant chef cooks with their hearts. I cannot promise you. I mean, I can talk about myself, and there are days when I have not cooked with my heart. I'll be very honest. I have served 2,000 people, but have I served 2,000 people with my heart? The answer is no. But I've served 20 people. I've served them with my heart. I've served 200 people. I've served them with my heart. I've served 200 people for 6 days regularly. I've served them with my heart. But by the end of the 6th day, I am dead. So there are days. So on the, I'll give you a small story. I was working at the Marriott in Juhu, and Mr. J.W. Marriott himself, along with an entourage of 75 top CEOs and officials, were traveling with him. And our boss, Chef Vinay Jaraj, is no more. gave us just one single directive, guys. Let's hit perfection. And before any one of these guys wake up, till any of these guys sleep, we are awake, we are here, and that's how we'll achieve perfection. So for us, it was that one or two lines that just stuck here. So everything that we were touching, we were looking, is it perfect? This flower vase, is it perfect? Oh no, it's not. Or this bottle, is it perfect? So our focus shifted from being average to being perfect. And I think these are constant reminders in our life, that if we keep reminding ourselves, like a mom keeps reminding themselves, whatever I'm doing for the well-being of the family. I think it will be a good reminder for everyone, for their jobs, for their beings, for their driving, for their gardening. So whatever you will do then, you will do it with your heart.
My next two questions are based on the earlier conversation that we were having. One is around edible oils, and the second one is around how did you become an entrepreneur? Let me first talk about edible oils, then I'll move to your personal side.
Sure.
There's been varied conversations happening for decades. कभी ये ऑयल अच्छा है, कभी दूसरा ऑयल अच्छा है, ऑयल बेकार है, घी खाना चाहिए. देन सम पीपल से कि यार आज की डेट में जो गाय है उसको हार्मोनल इंजेक्शंस लगते हैं तो दूध अच्छा नहीं है, घी अच्छा नहीं है. व्हाट इज़ योर टेक ऑन एडिबल ऑयल्स? आई मीन आज की डेट में देयर आर लेबल्स बीइंग पुट that this oil is not there used, that palm oil is not used. It's like becomes a big label, and suddenly the consumers start responding to this, and the whole activity becomes a reality. Right?
Yeah.
One, what is your opinion on oils?
Sure.
Second is, what do you think, is this right to create these marketing gimmicks?
Well, I think the answer to I'll start because many questions in one question.
In one question, yes.
So I'll start with answering your last piece of question, that is, are these marketing gimmicks good or bad? There is no right answer, because some marketing gimmicks are not gimmicks. There are some marketing statements are real statements, but some marketing statements are not real statements. And we live in this world of make-believe, and dar bikta hai. Right, that is the primal statement in our thing. So if Indian Medical Research Council says that 100 अगर आपकी फास्टिंग शुगर 100 है तो आप डायबिटिक नहीं हो, 110 है तो आप डायबिटिक हो. US says 140. So is the US individual different than an Indian individual? Not in blood sugar, right? So what you are selling, how you are selling, why you are selling, right? I think probably one thing is about pure knowledge, one thing is about just heard knowledge or hearsay. India, 80% India works on heresy. ਉਹਨੇ ਤੇ ये क्या सी जी, ये वाला तेल बकवास है, बस खत्म. पूरी community will not use that oil, right? Because they've not gone ahead and researched anything about it. क्यों खराब है? उसमें क्या खराब है? उसमें क्या अच्छा है? Nobody will do it. But they will just do it. Why? Because शर्मा जी ने कहा था. अब शर्मा जी ने क्यों कहा था भाई? भाई शर्मा जी ने कहा था कि 100 से नीचे फास्टिंग शुगर आपके लिए अच्छी है. वो ट्रांसलेट हो गया कि जी 100 से ऊपर शुगर डायबिटीज है. Right?
Absolutely.
Now the point here is, when it comes to oils, as a chef, I know that we need oil as a medium to cook. Right. And every single cuisine has different oils. Like for example, if I'm cooking Bengali food, mustard oil is required. It is a requirement to cook, let's say, some of the UP dishes with mustard oil. It is a requirement to cook some of the southern dishes with coconut oil. So oil was always used by the need of it. जहाँ पे आप हो उसके हिसाब से आप ऑयल यूज़ करोगे. जो आपके आसपास अबंडेंस में है उसके हिसाब से आप ऑयल यूज़ करोगे. दैट्स हाउ आवर एंशिएंट वेज ऑफ कुकिंग हैव ऑलवेज बीन. बट today I am flooded in the market with oils and oils. This brand is good, this brand is good, this brand is good. इसमें ये है, उसमें वो है, उसमें आपके टूथपेस्ट में नमक है. I am confused. Right? Now as a chef, I can't talk about one single brand or one single thing which is right or wrong. I want to say one thing, that समोसे अच्छे हैं प्रोवाइडेड वो साफ तेल में तले हुए. वो अगर 4-5 बार तेल यूज हो चुका है. I know what happens to oils when you overheat them is that they degenerate, right? They have trans fats.
Trans fat.
Yeah. So I know for a fact that when oils are repeatedly heated, trans fats, kind of come in, and that's what is not good for your body. So what it means is that if you are frying samosas at home, don't take 1 liter of oil, take 300 ml of oil, fry 3 samosas at one time, and
Change the oil.
and then use it once. आप घर में देखो ना क्या होता है, घर में यही होता है, छोटी कढ़ाई में ऑयल होता है, एंड देन मॉम विल यूज इट इन सब्जी और व्हाटएवर टुडे, और जो बच गया वो थोड़ा बहुत आउट.
Correct.
They will not reuse the oil.
Yes.
Because that is the right way to do. So if you're asking me which oil is good, which oil is not good, I don't know. What is the right way of using oil? This is the right way of using oil. Why cold pressed oils are good? Because cold pressed oils you use lesser in quantity and they're more pure. That's because you know it for a fact that it's not gone through any hydrogenation process. Any refined oil is bad, according to doctors. But how much refined oil is bad? It depends on who is consuming it.
And how are they consuming?
And how are they consuming it, right? So, if I'm going to have puris every single day of my life, then obviously I'm not doing the right thing. But everything in a balance is right.
Absolutely. I mean, in fact, अभी किसी से बात हो रही थी, वो कहते ये पाम ऑयल है, सब चिप्स मैन्युफैक्चरर्स ने, वेफर मैन्युफैक्चरर्स ने उस पर लिख दिया. बट दैट डजंट मीन कि अब पाम ऑयल हट गया है तो आप 10 पैकेट चिप खा सकते हो. ठीक है ना. सो इट्स द प्रोडक्ट what is there which is important rather than that one single ingredient, because that's not the only ingredient which is there.
Right. It's the salt. See, I will be next week. I'm speaking at the PhD Chamber of Commerce for the same thing, that India is now realizing that our sugar content and our salt content in our food is so high that we need to cut it down somehow, because we are now prone so much to diabetes as well as hypertension. And these are two very big problems for the government of India, because it's going to straight away affect the longevity of every Indian.
Correct.
Heart attacks and seizures are happening much more than they were happening 10 years back. So the reason is that we are not controlling our salt intakes. We don't think, we don't take care. We are no longer limited to 3 meals, but it's become 20 meals, because every time I feel hungry, I just pick up something and grab. I snack on anything what comes in front of me. So those are the things that we need to be looking at when it comes to healthy living. Now, when it comes to palm oil, again, palm oil may not be the enemy, but what it does and how it is used and how many times it is used, that is the enemy.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And chef, you were working in a large hotel, and then you chose to call it quits and start your own entrepreneurial journey. Can you share what helped you make this decision? Because that's an interesting one, I know, and I think it's going to be really interesting for people to understand.
Well, I think, it all started, the first thought when it started was in 1998. I was working as a prep cook in TGI Fridays. I came back home very tired, and my brother was pressing my back, and I was like, oh, very tired. I said, what did you do? And I said, I cooked about 300 pastas today. And he said, so how much do you sell the pasta at? I said, about 300 rupees. Oh, so you made 90,000 rupees for someone else. Now that thought was a huge thought, but I could not do anything with that thought at that point in time, because I was a prep cook. My dad wasn't a billionaire who I could just throw money and say, chal beta, open a business. I could do nothing with that. This is 1998, cut to 2011. I am standing to receive a gentleman at the hotel porch, and a Mercedes-Benz arrives with a chef coat. And I think to myself, how many Mercedes-Benz in India will have a chef coat hanging behind? And the answer was one. And you and I know both who we are talking about.
Yes.
Chef Sanjeev Kapoor, I think, Mark Dakshak in this area, because he taught us that a chef is not just a person who thinks food or is thinking somebody behind the range. Food is not just something that you consume. Food is a phenomena, right? The entire medical industry is based on food.
Correct.
And the entire cosmetic industry is based on food.
Absolutely.
Right? So everything has to do with food. When everything has to do with food, then why are the food people taking the back seat?
Absolutely.
Right? So come in front, and he really kind of gave us the way to think about it. And I think it was a time where I took the plunge, including my parents, and everybody of my friends said, you are at the prime of your career, why do you want to step down? I said, hey, I'm not stepping down.
Keep stepping up.
No, I'm not even stepping up. I said, I am at a, imagine two mountains. Okay, and I'm standing at a peak of one mountain. I said, I'm going to jump. I have a 100% chance of making it to that mountain and a 100% chance of falling down. So should I not take that plunge just because 100% chance of falling down? Because there are 100% chances of reaching the other peak as well.
Right.
And the beautiful part about this is if you I mean, I don't do mountaineering, but I just love watching, is that if you do that plunge, some mountains allow you to then climb faster.
Correct.
So this is that mountain, because this summit was, that's it. An executive chef, director of culinary, whatever you call it, right? President of the kitchen. That's how I see it now. But that's where he is. The general manager always felt that he does not has business acumen, and that got clarified when I joined the Western Mumbai. The food cost then was 30%, and in 3 months' time I brought it down to 24. Each percent was 60,000 rupees, which means that 6% down was 3,60,000 rupees. I said, every single month I'm putting this much money in your pocket. Instead of saying thank you, that gentleman said, it's your job. I said, great. You know what? I look at my job now in my way. Today,
Fantastic. You know what? When you were talking about the paradigm of two mountains, what was coming to my mind was that you may be at the peak of one mountain and you may take a jump. The fear of the family is that you'd be starting from the scratch.
Right.
But you don't realize that the base of that next mountain is the base of a higher peak.
right, Right.
That's a very important aspect.
Right.
That's very beautiful. Chef Ajay, you're a successful chef. You're somebody who
Trying.
You are a successful chef, and this is a journey. So journey
Yes.
continues.
Yeah.
You will become better each day.
I'm enjoying the journey, to be
Absolutely.
honest. The destination has no fun. The journey
Right.
has the fun.
And you've tasted your role as an employee. You've become an entrepreneur. You've seen both sides. What would be your advice of how to learn for anyone who's starting their career as a chef? And I'm talking about how to learn.
Right. So 3 things that I would say is that, everybody says, what am I going to do 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Actually speaking, no one knows this, because life throws challenges at you sometimes which you have no idea about.
Correct.
So 5 years from now, today also, I have no idea. I might be sitting in Australia, for all I know. But planning for the next 5 years should be there. But getting stuck on that planning should not be there. So first thing first is that everybody who is deciding to be a chef must have a goal in mind, that where do I want to go? But then don't hold that goal so tightly that if life gives you lemons, you only make lemonade. You can also make lemon pie. You can also make nimbu ka achar.
Absolutely.
There is more to do with lemons. You just have to be stuck with that box thing. No.
Flexibility has to be there.
Has to be there. So you can decide to become A, B, or C, or D. So, but having said that, the goal has to be in mind. That, भाई 5 साल के बाद ना मेरे को यार कम से कम एक गाड़ी होनी चाहिए, है ना? और गाड़ी कैसे आएगी? So then I have to work backwards. So I used to tell myself that every year I need a promotion. When I was working, every year I need a promotion. Now I knew for a fact, because I was looking at my oldies, and every of those oldies used to always think, because I've spent 3 years in this industry, I should get a promotion. And the boss would say, that's no reason. And I used to hear him carefully and ask him, why did you say that? He said, because just spending time in an organization does not mean you deserve a promotion. What have you actually done on your job to get a promotion? So I knew that it was not the time, it was the doing. So I focused everything on the doing.
Right.
And the next year I said, okay, I've done this. Okay, take the promotion. I said, now what do I do? So my boss, I'm really thankful that I got really good mentors. And one of them is the general manager at the Marriott in Colombo today. He was a chef, Chef Elton Curtis. I still call him chef. And so he told me that, Ajay, if you're a sous chef and you want to become a chef de cuisine, don't become a chef de cuisine next year. Become a chef de cuisine today. So I want you to take the job description of a chef de cuisine
And start working on
Start
it
working
now.
right now. In 1 month's time, you should come to me and say, Chef, done. I've done it. Now for the next 11 months, be the chef de cuisine.
Fantastic.
And then in the 12th month, Ajay Chopra chef de cuisine. For the first few months, to be honest, it did not sink in. I said, if I already am working as a chef de cuisine, I'll get the Upadhi only after that time. I said, because he said, are you working for the Upadhi or are you working for the growth? Mentally, you've grown already to a chef de cuisine. You know what? By the time you get the Upadhi of chef de cuisine, mentally you've grown to the executive sous chef.
Absolutely.
So people work for titles, they don't work for growth. If you work for growth, titles will come.
Absolutely. That's a very beautiful thing, because you don't say that I'm going to work only when I get the title. You anyways work like that person so that you deserve that title.
Right, right.
Beautiful.
And at that point in time, my always statement to everybody was, खुद को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुदा भी तुझसे आके पूछे बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है, which is now changed because I now have a different thing and I first ask God, what's your will? Because my will, I don't want to do. I will make mistakes with my will. Let me do your will. You know, and that is difficult, but that always pays well.
बहुत प्यारी बात है, because it's like telling the God that आपकी रज़ा है, मुझे ज़रिया बना ले.
Right,
ठीक है ना?
right.
शेफ अजय, दिस इज सच अ ब्यूटीफुल कॉन्वर्सेशन. ऑनेस्टली मैंने बहुत इन्जॉय किया है, इंस्पायर भी हुआ हूँ. ठीक है ना? सो रियली ब्यूटीफुल. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर शेयरिंग योर लाइफ जर्नी एंड द लर्निंग्स फ्रॉम योर लाइफ with all of us.
I think
Thank you so
this
much.
can go on, but since this is an interview and you asked me the last question, that what is that advice to the young people?
Yes.
I'm sorry,
हाँ,
in all
वो
of these
चीज़
things.
वो तो
So
नहीं है.
वो first पे रह गया. So maybe you can edit it and put it that way. So the first thing is that have a goal. The second thing is that, you know, people say that, you know, how will I reach the goal? What will I do? How will I do it? I think a lot of things will come to you as you start. When you start running, you know, when I'm thinking कि यार मैं 21 किलोमीटर की मैराथन कैसे दौड़ूंगा, भाई जब तक दौड़ना शुरू नहीं करूंगा तो मैं कैसे दौड़ूंगा. बट व्हेन आई हैव रीच्ड 18 kilometers and my body is saying no, I can't anymore, then the mind says 3 किलोमीटर बाकी है, कर ले पुत्र, and then you get another boost of energy. So which means that in your journey you will get those hurdles, but when the hurdle comes, then your mind always will also give you that strength and energy. God will give you that strength and energy to move forward. So which means that start. Don't just say कि I will become that. Start, do it, हो जाएगा.
बिल्कुल.
And the third thing is that which a lot of people kind of don't like me for. You know, if today if I have to reach from BKC to Kolaba, you know, I may have this route and that route and the sea route and whatever route, but good old days there was only one route. So my boss used to always say that to do anything right, there's only one way, is the right way. Choose the right way, you know, and you'll always reach on time. Which means that a lot of people try to take shortcuts and say, okay, I'll reach here in 2 years. You may reach there in 2 years, but you will not be the person who you want to be.
Absolutely.
So don't take shortcuts. Believe in your hard work. Believe in the fact that, you know, good things come with time. You know, you can't age a wine just because you want it. It takes time. So enjoy another wine at that time, and when that wine gets aged, enjoy it then. There always has to be that beauty, continuing beauty.
What do you want to do when you in the later part of your life?
Which is few years from now.
Yeah, because Bella, I have a suggestion. Bella, chef who's also a motivational speaker. I mean, it's absolutely evident.
Yeah,
Right?
you think so?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I really think that, you know, you can inspire people.
Yeah.
And what you
So I gave my life to Jesus, you know, when I was 19. But it's now that I've understood what He wanted me to do, and as I'm doing it, I'm doing my part in the church as well. I'm a church leader as well, and when I'm talking to people, you know, I had two lives. I had a life as an entrepreneur, as a, you know, professional, and a life that I was living in the church. Till the time God actually said that there are not two Ajay Chopras, there's only one. So when that became, which happened a few years back, I was able to see things so clearly because God created this world and everything in it. And if I take His wisdom and use that, then my wisdom, which is this much, will never come in between the wisdom of God, which is this much.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Chef Ajay, thank you so much for speaking to us. मज़ा आ गया.
Thank you.